Hey, it's Scott Newcomb with Zenvi AI. Today, I am joined by Onn Matalon he's a founder of Renovation Bridge, which is a really cool company. They help homeowners, investors take out the headaches of home renovation. So they're based in the Bay Area, but growing into LA, going to the rest of the country soon. So he's kind of intersection of renovation, technology, and the property tech space. So really excited to have him on here. How are you doing, On?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you, Scott, for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's kind of start at the beginning. How just kind of your journey, whether it's in the real estate or technology, how did it inspire you to start renovation?
Yeah, so there were two kind of big key factors that kind of led me to Renovation Bridge. I've always been entrepreneurial my whole life. I started selling shoes as a little kid. I flipped cars in high school. Anything to kind of provide value in people's lives and make money off of it was kind of what I enjoyed doing. My dad was a contractor growing up, so I spent a lot of time getting kicked out of school and suspended and stuff like that. So I end up a lot of my time growing up was on job sites. He'd pick me up from school, take me to job sites, we'd go do demos, like, get my anger out. But I learned a lot of things doing that. And I learned kind of how you're supposed to treat people, how you're supposed to treat homeowners, how you're supposed to kind of conduct yourself in a business way. And then after high school, I got my real estate license right when I turned 18, and worked in real estate for about a year, and then realized I really like the whole agency aspect of real estate. I like taking someone, learning what their challenges are, learning about them as a human being, and helping them solve those challenges. But I wasn't super passionate about real estate and buying and selling homes. I was a lot more passionate about construction and kind of turning pre-existing houses into masterpieces, kind of like what I grew up doing with my dad. So I kind of found a way to combine the two. And Renovation Bridge just started off as a lead gen company for my dad. I was just going to see, hey, can I generate some leads for him? See if I can do some marketing, post some videos, figure out what I can do as Gen Z to kind of help his business progress. And then I quickly realized that there's really big gaps in the market where there's a lot of sketchy contractors doing a lot of sketchy things. And I knew enough about what you need to look for in a contractor, what you want, what you don't want in a contractor, to kind of say, okay, wait, this is a red flag I pick up on that other people aren't picking up on. And let me see if I can actually spread this and make this bigger. So we shifted away from just being a lead gen company to now what we are today. We help homeowners by sitting down, learning about their project, very similar to the way a real estate agent takes someone, learns about them, shows them the right house. We take someone, learn about them, show them the right contractor. We've pre-vetted a network of about 35 contractors in the Bay Area right now, and expanding. We talked to over 300 contractors, kind of narrowed it down to who we believe is the very, very best. And so people reach out to us, we learn about their project, connect them with 3 to 5 of the best contractors tailored for their specific project. So any contractor you meet from us will have done a project similar to yours in the past at or around your budget. And we handle all the follow-ups for you. So you don't have 5 contractors reaching out to you. You have one main dedicated person. We handle all the negotiations for you. So all the proposals you receive go through us. If you tell me, hey, I really like contractor one, but I want me to be closer to contractor three's price, we kind of do that whole thing. And then the biggest thing and the biggest kind of benefit to homeowners is they get that peace of mind knowing that all of our contractors are licensed, insured, bonded, very, very thoroughly vetted. We go to job sites, which we speak to previous clients. We kind of make sure that, hey, would I be comfortable with this guy working on my own house? So that's kind of just like a little beginning of how we started and kind of what we do.
Yeah, that's cool. Was there a moment where you thought like, "Hey, there's gotta be a better way," or like what made you switch from lead gen to what your business is now?
Yeah, my just kind of seeing my dad's frustration. He did a lot of work for like kind of repairing other contractors' work. So there was a lot of times where he'd go out and like we'd hear homeowners say this all the time, where like a contractor would come, start showing up, start opening walls, and then like start demanding a bunch of money and then not show up and disappear. And I remember being a kid and going out to these sites and like seeing the homeowners basically they're kind of locked. Like someone comes in, destroys a bunch of your walls, and then now what do you do? You're kind of at their mercy. And I was just like thinking to myself, well, if I can solve this and kind of take that weight off of people's shoulders and provide a great free service to homeowners, why not?
So obviously we talked about being in the Bay Area and wanting to go to LA and nationwide after that. What has been successful for you? Like, what have been the growth drivers, do you think, so far?
Yeah. We had a few really big growth drivers. There's like, I can kind of pinpoint a few different milestones that we had. When we first got started, I had done a little bit of online advertising in the past, but the big growth milestone at the beginning was running Facebook ads. I saved a bunch of money from real estate and selling houses. And I was like, okay, this is my budget for this company. This is what I'm going to spend on ads. If I don't make, like, if I go for broke, and then cool, I went for broke. If it works, it works. So I set a dedicated budget and taught myself how to run Facebook ads, kind of dove into it headfirst, spent like just every single day watching videos on it, making stuff in Canva, posting it, editing it, like just doing as much information as I could with Facebook ads. Eventually, after like 3 or 4 months, we started seeing good returns on them. And that was kind of the first milestone. The second milestone that kind of drove a lot of growth is we started doing home shows. We've been doing the Alameda home show here in the Bay Area every year for the past 3 years, and it's been amazing. Every time we go out there, we get great feedback from homeowners. We talk to homeowners face to face, which is super, super good. And we kind of just show them the benefits of what we do. And then the third really big one that kind of took us from just like a few appointments here and there, a few projects here and there to like, whoa, this is actually something real. There was a ADU company called Anchor Tiny Homes who was going out and scamming a bunch of homeowners. And we saw a bunch of news reports on it, and we were like, we have the perfect solution. Like if people work through us, this would never happen to them. And we reached out to a few different news anchors, and we got on NBC Bay Area and did a whole channel on how to vet contractors, how to make sure that you're talking to the right contractor, how to not get scammed. And that kind of was a huge ramp forward for us. We talked to Chris Kimura of NBC Bay Area, and he just kind of did a whole piece on us. We showed a project that we did in Livermore. We kind of explained, here's what to look out for, here's what to not look out for. We made a whole book about it on how to vet contractors. And that kind of really took us from just like, okay, this is an idea to, wow, this is actually something that's actually helping people. And that was a huge step forward. And now we're looking at figuring out what the next step forward is, how to automate things from here and how to kind of focus on expansion. So figure out how to take everything we're doing here and everything we're doing so amazing here and continue that to the rest of the state, and then obviously to the rest of the country eventually.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So the next question is, so as you start that scale, what bottlenecks or hurdles are you going to project they're going to happen? Obviously, interviewing contractors is a challenge. You've had the ads and whatnot. What do you think of the pain points are going to be going forward?
Yeah. So a lot of what we do and a lot of what we base ourselves is the trust. What I think the biggest bottleneck is going to be is finding these really good contractors. Like I mentioned, we've talked to over 300 contractors here in the Bay Area, and out of 300, we're working with like 35 of them. So it's like 10% of the people that I talk to, I actually want to work with. So it's going to be a lot of going down, spending time in LA, going to job sites. Anyone can say anything over the phone, but once I show up on a job site and see how the subcontractors are doing, how the foreman's doing, how the plumber's doing, you start talking to the people actually working for that contractor, you find out a lot of information that people won't tell you. So it's just going to be a time of going out and making sure that the people I'm working with are the best of the best. Because at the end of the day, my company's name is based on the person I send out to you. And I can't get that. That can't get ruined. I want people to have Renovation Bridge and trustworthy just be synonymous with each other.
Absolutely. Yeah. So are you, let's say someone hires you and then you start the project, are you involved through the whole thing or you set everything up and then the homeowner takes it from there?
Yeah. So we'll have various levels of involvement depending on kind of which contractor it's signed with and what type of homeowner it is. Usually we'll go to the homeowner's house after it's signed, just take some before photos, kind of just congratulate them, put a face to everything that's been happening. We're very big on face-to-face interactions. Home improvement project's a very intimate thing at the end of the day. You're having people work at your house all day long. So we kind of want to make sure that they feel that they're in the right hands. We'll usually then again go once during demolition and then again once the project is finished, mainly to take before, during, and after photos, but then also to check in with the homeowner, make sure the contractor is doing really good work. Basically, all the hard work that gets done before they sign. And then I'm very confident in my contractors. I know as soon as they're signed, it's going to be a great, easy, smooth transition for them. And then obviously, if anything comes up during the project, we're all ears. We're there to help. If a change order comes through that they need reviewing, if there's questions about finished materials, if they need selection, like anything that happens, we're still very involved.
Got it. How are you guys are you using different software tools to manage it? Because obviously there's a lot of moving parts in this kind of situation. What are you relying on to make sure you guys are using good project management?
Yeah. So we use a huge combination of different things. And this would be really awesome to get this simplified, especially when we start growing. We use Go High Level as our main CRM that gets all the incoming leads, all the automations, all the appointment booking, everything goes through there. We use Monday.com for follow-ups. So after homeowners meet with contractors, we'll put them in a Monday board, and that's how we do the follow-ups for it. Obviously, there's Facebook Ads Manager, which runs a lot of the ads, spreadsheets to track the kind of how the ads are performing. We have Google Drive folders to track all the media. And then we use Slack to communicate with the team, and then a lot of text messages. So there's a bunch of different platforms that are currently getting used, and we use Zapier to kind of zap everything back and forth from each other. And that's just kind of a pretty complicated thing that took a lot of trial and error to figure out to get kind of working. And I know as soon as we start getting bigger, like this will work, especially if we want to expand just to California, like we can keep this system. Once we start going nationwide and I have people calling me, one calls in Ohio, the other calls in Seattle, the other calls in Florida, things are going to have to change and things are going to have to start getting organized. But when everything is still in the same state, it should be pretty easy to do. But once we start getting bigger, it'll obviously become a challenge.
Yeah. Do you think it's harder to find good contractors or to find homeowners?
So this is a interesting thing, and I talk to my co-founder about this all the time. Good contractors will find you. Homeowners, you need to go out and find. We have a basically a waiting list of contractors here in the Bay Area, just because I like the people I work with now. I don't really need new people. Obviously, we're always talking to new people because if someone's better, I want to work with them. Finding homeowners is difficult. It's difficult to get the name out, but every single homeowner I tell what we do too is happy to hear about it. Obviously, we're a free service for them and we provide a ton of value. So it's just about getting what we do out to them. But as soon as people know what we do, it's not very difficult. We get a ton of referrals. The referral business is huge. We get referrals from real estate agents, from mortgage brokers, from previous clients. It's all about providing value. If you provide value to people, business will come back to you. So it's just trying to make a good service for people and people will talk about your business. It's just when you expand to a new place, like let's say Los Angeles, no one has heard of it yet. So it's going to be a little bit of kind of guerrilla marketing to kind of just spread the name out as much as we can. But as soon as we start doing 5, 10, 20 projects in LA, I'm pretty confident it'll pick up quickly.
Yeah. Can you kind of give us an idea? Let's say I'm a homeowner right now in the Bay Area and I want to have somebody like I contact you guys. Like, what does that process look like?
Yeah. So you contact us, one of our matchmakers, like I like to call them, will call you. They'll basically talk to you, go over full project details. So you'll tell us your hopes and dreams, what you want, what you don't want. If you've talked to previous contractors in the past, what you liked, what you didn't like, your timeline, your budget, kind of the more information you give us, the better. From there, we'll find out what your availability is. So you tell us, hey, I'm available Monday through Wednesday after 5 p.m. We'll go back, look at our database of contractors, figure out which contractor is the right fit for you. Go reach out to them, say, hey, listen, we have this amazing homeowner named Scott. He's available to meet you guys Monday through Wednesday after 5 p.m. Are you available? They tell us yes. We schedule all those appointments on your behalf. They come out. They're already coming out with all the knowledge that we've shared with them. So they're coming prepared to your project. And then on your end of things, these are contractors who can actually do your project. You tell me, hey, I want to do my kitchen under 150 grand. No contractor's going to come out and give you a bid at 225. Like they'll all give you it under the budget that you want to be at. They'll come out, they'll do the walkthrough. Each walkthrough takes anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. They'll kind of meet you, figure out any measurements they need to do, put together a proposal. Then they'll email you over a proposal. All the proposals get CC'd to us. So we have a copy of everything. Me and the homeowner will get on a call after, kind of review. Here's what contractor A said. Here's what contractor B said. Here's what contractor C said. And then this is kind of my job. I kind of sit down with the homeowners, figure out where they need to be to feel super confident to close. And then anything they need from us. So if it's negotiating the price down, changing the scope of work, picking finished materials, changing budgets, like whatever needs to happen, we're kind of on top of it. The homeowner just needs to talk to us and we'll get them pretty much anything they need and make sure we get them a contractor who can do it.
Thought about how you're going to use technology going forward as you mentioned Ohio scale. Like you've thought about like how we're going to make this work in a new city or a new state.
Yeah, there's a few really big things that I'd love to implement. The contractor selection is very difficult, like figuring out which contractor is actually going to be the right fit. We put a lot of time and energy into that. So having an algorithm or a software, an AI system that can say, like I can put in all this stuff. I can say, hey, Scott really likes Spanish style. These are what he didn't like about his previous contractor. This is what he likes about contractors. And then it can go into the database of contractors and pick those contractors out and then automatically be connected to their availability and their calendars and connected to your calendar. And it can just mesh all that together without us having to manually kind of do that. And then all we have to do is kind of just say, yes, this is good or no, this is bad, would speed up the process significantly and really allow us to kind of just go out, like just basically send a team out to each of the big major cities and go talk to contractors and figure out what they like and what they don't like. And then kind of expand from there. It'd make life a lot easier.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that I can see that because you guys are, which I think homeowners like, is you're very hands on. But since you're so hands on, it probably slows you down a little bit from doing other things. It's just like like a realtor, for example, there's so much work to get the customer to get a client, but then let's say the house is under contract, they're gonna meet the person about the appraisal and the inspection. There's just a lot of hand holding that goes through that process, which I know clients like, but it also is kind of a drain on your time too.
Right. It's kind of the value that we add though. There's a lot of people who will sell appointments. You can like go to Angie's List and find a contractor, but you don't know anything about them. You don't have that third party, and homeowners really like having that third party and that extra person to kind of hold their hand to make sure that like, hey, yes, what I'm doing is a good investment for my house and it's going to make me money and I'm going to be happy with it. My kids are going to be happy with it, and it's very important, and we want to spend the time doing that. It's just as we grow, it'll just be a thing of manpower and finding people who I trust to kind of walk homeowners through this and kind of expanding the team. Like we have two other lead callers right now. As we expand, we'll need to bring two more on and two more on and keep growing that team and eventually have just like a sales team of 20, 30 people who can each handle 30, 40 homeowners at a time. And we can kind of conquer the world from there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the hard part of being an entrepreneur is handing it off to other people, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a huge challenge, especially doing this for a little while now. It's kind of hard to let go of the reins, but I know there's people who are better than me at certain things, and I need to kind of trust them that they can do it. But it's at the end of the day, it's my baby. Like I care about it. I care about the homeowners. I want to make sure that anyone who's talking to the homeowners is going to be a good, solid representation of what we do in our business and who we want to be in our mission.
Yeah, no, and I that comes through and it's genuine. I know just from my experience running businesses before, if you can find like that COO or the operations person, you're going to overpay for them, but it's so worth it because they're going to make your life so much easier because there's just you're trying to go in five different directions and they can help with that too.
Yeah, and I'm very fortunate. Very early into this business, I started working with my partner Jacob, and he's been absolutely amazing. He didn't know anything about construction at the beginning. He was just super motivated, super caring, wanted to help people out, and just took this as an opportunity to kind of grow and shine. And he's amazing. He runs the whole sales team at this point. He's always on the phone with homeowners. He's on the phone with homeowners right now. He's just like from 9 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening, just talking to clients. And I love that about him. And he just kind of sees the same vision I see. And I don't know what I would do without him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking about technology. Have you get thought about it like, hey, there's one part of the business I'd love to automate. It's just taking up time. Obviously, parts of it you don't want to automate because you still want to be involved. But have you really thought about like, hey, what's something that's taking up time that I'd love to just have some type of tool or way to automate it?
Yeah. The initial phone call with homeowners, if there was a way to kind of vet homeowners a little bit without having to call them initially, like if that's basically having a more in-depth form or like having some software that can, by the response of the homeowner, know how serious a homeowner is, would be super great to automate. I don't really know how we would do that, but kind of we get so many leads in on a daily basis that kind of filtering between warm leads and good leads and people who are just window shopping, people who actually want help, or people like we get the whole range of different homeowners reaching out to us. So I want to be able to help everyone. I just want to make sure that we're prioritizing time correctly. The other thing, and the thing I talked about earlier, is kind of getting that contractor booking down, making sure that contractors are going to the right appointments and the right contractors going to the right appointments, and coordinating the schedules takes forever. So it's a long process of kind of figuring out, hey, you're available on these dates. The contractors who are actually good for your project are available on these dates, and kind of that back and forth between the homeowner and the contractor. We're working on building a software for it right now. I have a software developer who's currently working on it. It's just getting that automated is going to be like the next step before expansion. Like that's literally what I'm waiting on. As soon as that's done and that's rolling, flying down to LA and I'm going to go interview 300 more contractors.
Yeah. Are there projects that you don't take on, or is it everything like we don't do landscaping projects, or is it just whatever?
Yeah. So we kind of tell people we're a renovation company. So we won't do like plumbing work or electricity. Like we do actual home renovations. I usually tell people the smallest project we'll do is like one bathroom or like $30,000. We want to kind of, when you're going smaller, there's kind of a bigger margin of error. I want to say like you can't really get screwed over as hard like on a $10,000 project as you can on a $100,000 project. And there's a lot of really good handymen. Like I tell people this all the time. If you want to do a small project, knock on your neighbor's house and ask them who did it. And that 9 out of 10 times is going to be a good person. If you're doing a 1,000 square foot addition, don't do that. Like go out and actually like do your research. If someone's going to be working at your house for 8 to 12 months, you really want to make sure that the person you're hiring is good. Someone's just coming to fix a leaky toilet there's a lot of people who can do good work. Just make sure everything's in writing before they start working on anything.
Okay. Yeah, I know we kind of talked about this before, but just the challenge of starting a business is really tough. And I've had calls with other property tech companies where it's the 0 to 1 is the hardest part. Like, how can you kind of talk about how hard is it to get the idea to actual implementation? What does that look like for somebody that may be thinking about doing something similar to you and they're kind of intimidated by, like, what advice would you give that person?
You have to jump off the deep end. There's no like you can't take little steps. Like I know the first lead we ever got. Like I had no idea what I was doing. It just we started running ads. I finally, like after a week and a half, got someone to like fill out one of my forms, and I was like, "Whoa, what do I do now?" So it's kind of like just there's no real small steps in it. You got to just decide you're starting it and put everything you have behind it. The biggest thing is just yeah, committing to whatever you're doing and believing what you're going to do is correct and putting your full faith into it. I don't That's kind of the only way to really start anything.
Okay. And then last question, just to kind of break down how it would look for a homeowner. You said it's free for homeowners, that whole process. And then what does it look like on the contractor side?
Yeah, so the contractors pay us for the opportunity to meet with the homeowner. And then we also get a percentage of the closed project. It's a small percentage, it's not super big, so it doesn't get reflected back to the homeowners. And I tell homeowners this all the time if they ever bring up concerns about it. Feel free, get 3 bids from us and then go out and get another bid on your own. And I can almost guarantee you 9 out of 10 times we're going to be A, cheaper, and B, our contractors are going to be better. Our contractors know that they're competing against a few other contractors who work with us. So they want to make sure that they're winning these projects. And we also only want to work with contractors who actually get signed deals from homeowners, because I know if one of my contractors is signing 10, 15, 20 deals a year, they're a better contractor for the homeowner. Homeowners like them better. They get better reviews than a contractor who's signing one, two, three projects. So the contractors are constantly competing to kind of be the best of the best. And then obviously we want to make sure the homeowners get the best experience. So I want to match the best contractor with the best homeowner.
Gotcha. Do you give the homeowner questions to ask, or you just like, hey, we'll take care of that for you?
Yeah, so we made a full renovation guide on our website. It's a free PDF download. It goes over questions to ask contractors, what to look for, what are red flags. It has a pricing calculator in it as well. We kind of just want to provide as much value as we can. So anything that they have, they can reach out to us. I'm on calls pretty much all day long with homeowners after they've had appointments. So I do a lot of just like, hey, if I'm building over a 1,200 square foot ADU, do I need SB9? Like a bunch of like really technical questions about it. And we're here to help them so they don't feel alone going through that project.
Cool. That's awesome. So if people
Yeah.
want to find out about you, where do they go?
Yeah, go to renovationbridge.com if you have a renovation in the Bay Area or soon in Southern California. Go there. There's a quick form. It kind of will just go over what you want, what you don't want. And then one of our matchmakers will give you a call.
Cool. Thank you, On. This is really helpful. I really appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.